Good evening, and welcome to Real Sports. With the Winter Games in Vancouver getting underway this week, we have a special All-Olympics menu this evening, beginning with figure skating and a flamboyant American hopeful named Johnny Weir. For his skill, Weir is ranked only 9th in the world. But in terms of fan interest, he is clearly getting top billing heading into Vancouver because he exemplifies everything people love and hate about men's figure skating. Our Frank DeFord has a profile of that event's latest sensation.
I go out there totally alone.
Ladies and gentlemen, Johnny Weir.
No coach can help me. No fan can help me. I'm standing on that ice in front of you, showing you my entire soul.
You're naked.
Completely naked. Being naked might even make it better.
It might be the only thing Johnny Weir hasn't treated us to, yet. Real fans know Weir as the most lyrical of skaters, a 3-time U.S. men's champion.
Not just a performance, but a statement.
Everyone else knows him as Johnny Weird, the bizarre guy who skates wearing things like this. Now, when a man dresses as a swan he calls Camille, complete with a red glove for a beak, people are going to notice.
When you come out in an outfit, which is very frilly and very feminine, I mean, you know what people are going to think.
Of course I know what people are going to think. I'm not stupid.
Well, no, you're not. I know. But you know you're going to make a very striking
There's going to
impression.
be a splash.
But in a sport where nobody wants to make waves to upset the judges, Johnny Weir is not just your everyday splash. He's a tsunami.
I wish the judges actually knew what they were doing.
When not judging the judges, he's been found critiquing the tempos of his competitors' programs.
Watching it, his was more like a vodka shots, let's snort coke kind of thing.
And snubbing his nose at animal rights activists while wearing his favorite furry apparel.
I think it was lovely. I think it was fluffy. I was happy when I could see the replays because I wasn't really checking my technique. I was looking at my costume.
We all know the deal. When athletes win, they can get away with anything. But for the past few years, the former champ has struggled some on the ice. And that's put a harsh spotlight on his eccentricities. Now leading up to his last shot at an Olympic medal, Weir has elected to star in his own television reality show. So even more than ever, everybody's talking about Johnny.
They're saying the trouble with Johnny Weir is now he's become a style freak. He's thinking so much about Johnny Weir, the character, that Johnny Weir, the skater, is not getting paid enough attention. Fair?
I think it's fair because that's what people see. For me, I'm a hardcore athlete. I train, I sleep, I diet, but people think because I'm doing these things, I'm not training as an athlete.
Go live.
Check me any Saturday night, unless I'm traveling, competing somewhere. I'm sitting at home, watching TV, getting ready for practice on Monday.
Of course, even when training, Johnny is always Johnny, which is why if you stop by a session at his practice rink just outside Manhattan, you might think you've been warped 5,000 miles away. Weir, you see, has an obsession with all things Russian. Culture, the arts, the attitude. He speaks the language with his Ukrainian coach. And anyone else will listen.
По-английски, пожалуйста.
So it seemed only natural that we meet him at the famed New York City restaurant, the Russian Tea Room, to talk about it.
What's the special fascination with Russia? Where did that come from?
I was born, I think, maybe with a part Russian soul. I'm from a very small town in Pennsylvania, and we had one book about Russia in our library, and I think I took it out every week and taught myself the letters from the alphabet.
You mean this is long before you were a figure skater?
Oh, very long, before I even understood what Russia was. No.
It sounds like you're reincarnated.
God knows what I was before.
Yet ironically, this curious, restless young man who breaks all the rules comes from here,
This is Quarryville.
the ultra-traditional Amish country in rural Pennsylvania, a place where people are raised to be exactly like the people who came before them.
Can you believe it's where I'm from?
Johnny Weir's parents were classic all-American types. John, the captain of the high school football team, Patty, the head cheerleader.
My husband and myself, neither one were permitted to be outspoken or curved from the norm. We both decided that our kids could be their own people. They could have an opinion. And I wanted them to curve from the norm.
Little Johnny's original Olympic dream was to be an equestrian. But all that changed in 1994 when he watched America's two star-crossed starlets get upstaged by Oksana Baul from, where else? One of his beloved old Soviet republics. 12 years old, he took a pair of second-hand skates behind the house to this then ice-covered cornfield, and he fell in love. Turned out the kid was a natural, and within 4 years, he catapulted to gold at the Junior World Championships. But according to Patty Weir, some of the U.S. figure skating establishment weren't keen on this instinctively brilliant original.
It wasn't so much his personality at first, it was actually the way he skated. They wanted the arms stiffer, they wanted him to hold his arms out and not lead with an elbow because that's feminine.
Over the years, the effeminate tag has stuck. Weir racked up his 3 national titles with his balletic style. But by 2007, his competitors were overpowering him with the sport's holy grail, the quadruple jump, which convinced some of the sport's top brass that they needed muscle more than artistry to solve figure skating's sagging popularity.
You're right at the heart of this, Johnny. Men's skating should be more butch.
I don't agree. I think everyone is their own individual self. I am an effeminate person. I like sparkly things. I like the theater of figure skating. But in no way does that make me less macho than somebody that gets out there in a muscle shirt and tattoos with grease stains or whatever.
Do you think the fact that some people dismiss figure skating as gay hurts the sport?
I know that for the men's population of the United States, figure skating is a gay sport, and that's a misconception. There are so many straight athletes in figure skating, but I think it's the music and the costumes that turn most men off, because they want to see spandex men hitting each other's ass and throwing a ball. It's very different.
Of course, to be fair, Johnny has not exactly gone out of his way to appeal to the typical Uncle Sam sports fan. Like at his first Winter Olympics, where Johnny, being Johnny, warmed up in the letters of the old Soviet Union. And after his disappointing 5th place finish, some in the U.S. only saw red.
After the last Olympics, we got horrible mail,
What did they say?
just chastising me for raising him the way he is.
Oh, being a bad mother.
Being a horrible mother. I had one letter that even suggested that they hoped Johnny be sent to the war and shot as soon as he got there.
But for all the hate here at home, his fans, Johnny's Angels, are legion and global. They not only support him at every event, but they shower him with extravagant designer gifts that they know he couldn't buy himself.
Oh my God.
Just consider what he made at this season's final international competition before the Olympics.
I was the bronze medalist at that event, and I got $18,000.
$18,000 for being one of the top skaters in the world.
That's a lot of money. To me, that $18,000 is a lot of money, but when you compare it to a baseball player or a hockey player,
It's peanuts.
peasant money.
And to maintain the Johnny Weir look, you need a lot more than a few rubles. Johnny's passion for fashion is legendary. When the clothes horse moved into a new apartment, he had 11 wardrobe boxes.
There's shoes and a reindeer pelt in this box.
So just what is the Johnny